Do it real. We are all about doing it for reals and giving you the truth of how things go. So we're gonna like maybe cat's out of the bag. Maybe you've noticed in a few episodes and you've like raised an eyebrow to be like, what's going on? Periodically, we have an extra accessory that we wear while we're in videos.
Sometimes Tiffany has it. Sometimes, often, I have it.
Right. Just depends on the day that we get to like do our recordings. Is who has been to the plasma place?
Okay, so today we're talking about plasma donations. And is it stupid? Is it useful? Should you try it or run away?
Right, and when we say donations, that's used lightly because they pay you for your donations.
Right,
so,
what we really mean is, how do you make a little extra cash?
Right, how do you sell your soul juice and make a little money?
Okay, so first, what is plasma? Because it's not donating blood. This is it's in your blood. It's part of that sort of process, but it's not the same thing. So if somebody asked you, what's plasma? You would say,
it's the water, juicy goodness that holds all the awesomeness in your blood.
Okay, so this is the clear liquid part that's transporting the red blood cells and everything around in your blood. And so that's the part that's getting donated, and they recycle back and give you back all your red blood cells and everything. So it's an interesting process. Tiffany's done it in the past, and there's a new plasma center just down the road from us, and so we're like, we could use some money.
Right. We can always use some money. We have this new hobby called Stupid Useful.
We have to fund it. And
whatever you need a little bit of extra cash, this is a great way to do it and give back to your society, your community, your country, whichever thing you want to insert right there. Just give back.
Well, and times are really tight right now anyway, so you may need a little extra cash for real, and this is a way to get some extra cash. So
now, not everybody may qualify for this. So let's talk about the process. Your very first time that you go to give plasma, be prepared to be there for 2 to 3 hours and be prepared for something to go wrong. Like,
yes,
humans run this bank. They use a lot of technology. There's a lot of error that could happen. So let's just start there. It's forever long.
And it was a brand new center, so we
Yes.
have all new system, new staffing. I mean, we definitely got some of that. For sure, my first time, the guy did everything right, but he didn't input one of the numbers when he was supposed to input it. So I went through almost everything and this like 20-minute questionnaire, the whole 9 yards, for them to be like, oh, well, it looks like tampering if we try and correct that. So you're gonna have to go home and come back. And I was like, oh, fine. And I did, and I went back, and it was tons faster. All that paperwork and information was stored, so give it a try. I was like, I'm not gonna like poo-poo this if I haven't really given it the honest go and effort to see what is this like.
Right. So your first time is going to take a long amount of time. But after that, you're really in and out within an hour, hour and a half, depending on how long the lines are.
Yeah.
So just physical, lots of questions about history and where you've traveled to and your habits in your daily life and things like that. So that's what the first one was about. The second time when you go back, you do a very short questionnaire. It takes like 3 minutes to 5 minutes, depending on how slow the computer is. And then you go back. So they...
Yeah. They test your temperature, they test your blood just to get your little vial ready to check your levels.
Your iron and your fats, make sure that that's all good.
Your blood pressure. I mean, just a general, really quick, check in. How is everything still good?
Right.
And that, again, like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If that, depending how quick they're running. But I've never felt like it was too long, and I kind of like, once you've done it a couple of times, I like know the process. Here's this, here's that, do this, here's my arm. So, it's fine.
Yep, and for the amount of money that you get, you're getting paid pretty decent by the hour to be there anyways. So once you've been through the just initial examination that you do every time you go in, then you lay it on the table, and they, do the blood pressure cuff, and you squeeze your hand, they find your vein, mark it, blah, 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 so then they stick you with the awesome needle. I hate needles.
So I was really surprised a while ago when Tiffany first started this, because I know she hates needles. And
so much.
When you're poor and your husband's in college and you need money, you do what you gotta do. Like, I get it, and she totally did it. And I was like, okay, that's far for me. I'm not doing that.
Right, totally how we survived law school and fed our family was giving plasma. It really was.
So it's a real thing. There are some side effects or consequences, but the whole process of what you're doing, if you're healthy and you pass all the questionnaires and there's nothing red flagging from medications you've taken to places you've lived, because our husbands are flagged for mad cow. So we're the only opportunity to donate in our family.
Right.
Donate. So anyway, so if you make it through that process, it's something you can do. You can do it twice a week. And so that means you're getting paid twice a week. Now, the money kind of fluctuates on what specials they're doing or coupons, and hey, we're a new center, come on in, we want to pay you money to take your plasma.
Right.
But I mean, what our average kind of, if it was no specials, you're earning about, what, $40 a time?
I think that's what it comes out. The second time you get more money than your first time because they have to have both donations to finish the plasma. So they'll hold your first donation for up to a year in the refrigerator till you get there for the second one. So they really want you to come back for that second one. And the more you do on your own, the more money you make too, because they want more of that one. Once somebody who's in need of plasma, once they start giving them, if it's an emergency situation, from my understanding, I'm not a doctor, but if it's an emergency situation, they're giving you a plasma, they have to finish that. Or they have to wait so long before they introduce a new type of plasma. So if somebody needs a large amount of it, they want a large amount of somebody else's. So they do encourage you to come back, and there's lots of, like our special that we have now is like bonuses for like 3 through 10
right, your
donations.
Extra times you come. Those first few visits, sure, that was nice, but we really want you coming back.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for over a month.
Right.
A month
I just
and a
did my
half.
9th visit.
I know, I'm probably on like 10 because my first visit didn't count, but they still count as a number.
I had to have a break. So one of the things that just happened because I wasn't hydrated enough, I shifted my arm because I was uncomfortable. It was a brand new person, they missed a vein, whatever happens.
So many little reasons.
Right, like you could end up with a bruise. Like it bubbled up under my skin and I was like, oh, it was terrifying looking, and they stuck ice on it and they stuck me in the other side and finished the donation because that's important. And so like I had to take a break because I bruised, and so I'm donation behind you, I think is what. Anyways, so that can happen, but they tell you how to take care of it. You do get little like scar tissue buildup. So I've been using vitamin E oil and other oils, and then I take like a little spoon and I just scrape on top of it's not an injection site, but the needle site or whatever to break up the scar tissue. And even last time I went, the lady was like, hey, have you been working on that? That was really easy. I could totally tell a difference. So things like that are just useful tips. So if you do it often, that you don't, end up
extra problems getting stuck because you've done it so frequently.
Right.
It's so funny, like my left arm doesn't donate as well as my right arm, and I haven't had done my left in a while, and the lady I got today is my favorite lady. And so I was like, let's do left. But at the very end, I swear, like my last round, it started like pausing again. I didn't shift, I didn't do anything different, but just started backing up. So they had to like kind of kick it through. So sometimes that'll happen. It's sometimes the machine, sometimes it's you and the angle for the return and whatever. And I've had one time, so there's 2 different things I've had. One time I took my wrap off too soon, and so it ended up giving me a big bruise. And I was like, oh, bummer. The other thing I did, I totally didn't do it. My person who wrapped me up at the end was like
tourniquet
wrapping me up, and she's like, let me know if it's too tight. And I'm like, it's too tight. Like I literally couldn't bend my arm.
Swear.
So she got rid of that and redid it. I could barely bend my arm. So I was like, fine, whatever, I'm done. I'm done. So I ended up with kind of like this serrated little bruising lines because it was just wrapped so tight. But you have to keep it on for a while because you really need that pressure, because it is a good size needle wound, so it will kind of seep and bleed if you don't leave it on for a good amount of time. So that's why you get to see it. I'm not going to just rip it off after an hour.
Nope. So, but we do think that giving plasma is not stupid. It is very useful, and if you're capable of doing it and you could use a little bit of extra cash in your pocket and you have a few hours every week to go and do that, find your nearest plasma. We'll put the link down below where we go for ours. You could even tell them that Sharla and Tiffany sent you and we get extra money.
There you go.
Just kidding, that's not why we're doing this. But
if you do,
right? Hey, we will be able to buy more awesome things if we get more money.
Extra donations are always good. Anyway, but check it out. I feel like this is a beneficial thing. If I was already going to be donating my blood, at least this time I get some compensation for my donation, which I don't love donating blood. I just don't. No. And so doing this, I know I'm getting something back and helping, and it's different than blood. It does a little bit more than that. It's for other special purposes and reasons. So I would say go check it out and go see what's in your area.